friends, and welcome. This is Dr. Heather coming to you live from Ask Dr. Heather here in my home in Overland Park, Kansas, where the rain has just stopped. It's been a beautiful, beautiful Easter morning. So if you're joining me, let me know where you're joining me from, what city, what state, what your weather's like. Here in Kansas in the Midwest, we always talk about the weather. So maybe that's why I always talk about it. Somebody said, why do you always talk about the weather? I'm like, I don't know. Ever since I was a little girl, we always talk about the weather. Maybe it's because I was a farmer's daughter. We always talk about the weather, but we always do. But today, I thought I'd talk a little bit about, since it's a holiday for many of us, what can kind of happen on these days, but maybe what's happening every day in your life. There's three things that generally happen. So what happens? Generally, you do one of three things. We either end up staying on track for our health plans, our wellness plans. Maybe you're on a certain calorie plan, maybe you're on a keto plan, maybe you're on a paleo plan, so maybe you're staying on your plan, you're exercising, you're eating within what you plan to eat, or maybe the second thing that happens is that you plan to stay on track, but you accidentally on purpose overindulge, which means maybe you're going to have one piece of pizza, but you end up eating the whole pizza. Or maybe the second one happens is that you know what? It's a holiday. It's my birthday. It's whatever. I'm just going to have whatever I want to have. Hey, Michelle, thanks for joining. So I'm going to talk about three strategies to help you really get back on track, no matter which one you're on, but three things that can really help you stay on track. Because all of these I know have happened to one of us at one time in our life. And really with the quarantine going on, I'm hearing about this more and more often, that people who really had their wellness plan under control seem to be getting a lot more off track, a lot more frequently, and you're giving in a lot more often because it seems to be that food is really just one of those things that helps comfort them in a time like this. Hey, Mike, thanks for joining us from Canada. And yes, it is my birthday. So it happens to fall on Easter every few years. But today, let's talk about number one, which was, how do I avoid overeating on holidays or when other things are happening? So again, let me know where you're joining us from. Hi, Allie. Thanks for joining. And Victor, Kevin, again, thanks for joining. So the avoidance plan. So say you're going to be having a holiday. I know a lot of people are not traveling or should not be traveling and hosting big events today. So in my house, we're a family of 6. So we helped plan the meal today. We had Cornish hen, we had steak, we had Brussels sprouts. We did have wild yams. I did not have any, but the younger men in my house, 17, 22, and 23, did have them. My mom had a little piece of one. We made a keto cheesecake, but there's definitely ways. You can definitely overeat Brussels sprouts. You can definitely overeat a 4-ounce steak. It's easy to eat an 8-ounce steak. It's definitely over to eat those things, correct? Or maybe somebody else maybe have made something else. Say it's a normal holiday and Aunt Betty brings a pie or Aunt Betty brings a carrot cake. It's definitely easy to overeat that. But you just want to make a plan. So the plan is either fill your plate one time, tell yourself this is what I'm going to have, and be satisfied with that, and keep reminding yourself this is about time with family. It's about the holiday, whether it's a birthday, it's a religious holiday, it's a wedding, it's a graduation party, and keep reminding yourself that this is why I'm here. It's about family. It's not about the food. It's about the function, not about the food, and keep reminding yourself that, and that really helps you stay on plan. Or you really worked out hard all week, you really earned your carbs, and I'm going to have Aunt Betty's pie, but I'm not going to have the sweet potato and the cakes, and I'm not going to have a 16-ounce filet, and I'm not going to have 15 cups of Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are in the category 3 of higher carbohydrates. They're actually one of the higher carbohydrate vegetables. Even though they're green and they're super healthy, they happen to have higher sugar content or higher glycemic content. That's why I'm just talking about them a little bit, because I do love them. It's easy to put a lot of butter and bacon and good stuff on them. But when you're talking about avoiding overeating, some of those things are earning your carbs, or as you work up to a holiday like Easter, I'm going to talk about that because that's what today is. It's really making sure that you do some good intermittent fasting leading up to that, eating in your 8-hour window. And a lot of you have joined me on our 40 days eating clean. And really when you're eating clean up to the holiday, it's a lot more easy to keep your body under control. Our tongue turns over every 10 days. So if you've eliminated processed sugar, it's really easy not to crave those sugary things, because what happens is the minute that pie or that cake goes in front of you, all of your plan goes out the window if you've been eating high sugar leading up to that event. So maybe you said, I'm going to be really, really good on this X holiday, but then when it happens, you're just like, okay, what the heck? It's only 10 minutes and you're just going to eat and I'll start tomorrow. But if your plan does go out the window, let's say that, how do I prepare for that? Drink lots of water. We know that 79% of us are dehydrated on a regular basis, and sometimes hunger and dehydration can mimic each other. So make sure that you're well hydrated. So going into an event, drink water yesterday, drink water today. Doing those intermittent tasks can really, really help your body, help your stomach shrink a little bit, because we know that our stomachs are very overexpanded from our supersizing everything and overindulging. And then when you eat that meal, so we talked about being well hydrated, intermittent fasting, earning your carbs, making sure you're exercising on a well plan. So make sure that you exercise before you go into your lunch or to your dinner plan, or you plan a nice activity right afterwards. So if you got a bunch of kiddos today and it's nice and not raining, that you go play some badminton, or you go play some frisbee outside, or you go have an Easter egg hunt where you're running around playing stuff, or everybody goes for a nice family walk or bike ride. Just make sure you're actively getting your body going, and then come back and do the dishes, or then come back and do something. So you're getting your body moving, and that way you're really decreasing, what that appetite's going to do and shrinking. So, hey, Heather, happy birthday to you. I was just thinking I should text you and wish you a happy birthday. So thanks for joining me. So number one, that's a great way to avoid overeating on a holiday. But know that when you eat that meal, that you eat to full. So when you eat to full, because it takes 20 minutes for your stomach to tell your brain that you're full, by the time the dessert comes, you're already full because you ate to full on the good yummy vegetables and the protein. You're more likely to push that kind of dessert away and say, you know what, I'm good, I'm fine, that's all I need. So what if it's a second one that you say, you know what, I did a great job, I stayed right on my macros, I'm right where I need to be. Then celebrate yourself and say, again, eat to full. And it sounds funny, but you want to eat to full at that lunchtime. And so then observe your intermittent fasting times, have a nice big lunch or meal, whatever that is. And we talked about doing brunch to brunch or lunch to lunch. So we talked about eating a nice big meal yesterday, and then fasting yesterday and this morning, getting your exercise in and having a nice big meal today. So number 3, what happens if we accidentally on purpose overeat? Somebody's like, what does that mean, accidentally on purpose overeat? That means that, you know what, okay, we're going to order pizza and I'm going to have just one piece, but then it comes in front of you and then you end up eating like one more piece and one more piece and one more piece. When that happens, then you have to tell yourself, it's okay, there's no shaming, there's no blaming, just know that you're going to do better next time. And then if you really want to get those carbs out of your body, then you've got to get moving and got to get exercise. And then you want to journal that down and say, did I overeat because... Was I hangry? Was I hangry at myself? Did I do that because I was lonely? Was I bored? Was I tired? Was nobody else around? I ordered the whole pizza. Or like today, because we had a family of 6 and like my other son is way far away and we didn't get to have our usual family. My in-laws weren't around today. My kids are growing up and nobody wanted to dye Easter eggs anymore and nobody wanted to play cards after dinner. Like, did you go to that place where they're growing up, that kind of sad place or depression place? Like, did that cause you to go ahead and overeat and eat another piece of cake as you were cleaning up and another piece of cheesecake, even though we had keto cheesecake and I didn't have any keto cheesecake, but I could have, right? Another piece, like those kind of things lead up. So you really need to analyze that so it doesn't keep happening holiday after holiday or event after event after event. And I do hear this time and time again because I've been working with people with their diets for over 20 years. Like, man, I don't know what happens. It just gets in front of me and it tastes so great. And there's a lot of neuroscience going on between you tasting the food and it hitting your brain, and then it takes you back to an emotional event or a neuro-emotional connection. But if you analyze that and say, I don't know why I had 5 pieces of pizza, it didn't taste that great anyway, or 5 pieces of cheesecake. But when you analyze that and you don't shame or blame yourself, you just strictly be a detective about it. You disconnect the emotional connection, and then you say, you know what, I'm not going to do that next time because it really didn't taste that great. And then, or you don't put yourself in that position. You don't order the cake again, or you remove yourself. Like, say it's going to be cheesecake. Everyone's passing out the plates today, and you don't take the plate for the cheesecake, so you don't put it in front of you. It's kind of like when you drive through for the burger, and you say, okay, I'm not going to eat the bun, I'm just going to eat the hamburger, but you don't tell them to hold the bun, but you still go ahead and take the bun. Just don't even take it. Human nature says, I'm going to take the bun, and I'm probably going to eat it anyway because no one's watching. Because if no one's watching, it doesn't count, right? We've all said that. It's all happened before. So I just wanted to give you some strategies leading up into that, because it happens to all of us, because I know Heather and I have a birthday, and when it's Easter right now, when she's got little kiddos at home and I have big kiddos at home, and so we start talking about all those events happening, and a lot of people having birthdays this week, it seems like, are people that I know. But you want to really plan that out, saying, okay, I'm going to have this to eat, and when you look at what's around being served, be a detective, eye it out and say, okay, I'm going to have this and this. And if I take the potato, I'm going to use that for an example. We had sweet potatoes. I did not take one, but if I had taken one, I have to take it and say, I'm going to be okay with that. I'm going to take a half of one and I'm going to be just fine. And you're not going to shame or blame yourself. And then I'm going to go work it off. Like I just saw Dr. Ralph Lee with Danny because I was like going to go on a walk with him, but it's still raining a little bit. So it makes it a little difficult. My prosthetic leg can't get wet. It's not supposed to get wet, so I can't walk in the rain. And then if I take my wheelchair out, it makes a huge, big, wet mess. So I was going to go with him, but he left without me. So I have to go for a walk later because I did have a lot of Brussels sprouts today, and I had this big romaine grilled thing, and I probably had 6 ounces of steak because it was delicious, and that's what I ordered for lunch. So I overate calories, but I did want to eat to full because I'm not going to eat the rest of the day. So that's kind of my plan, but you do want to exercise it off. And the other thing is you want to make sure you get a really good night's sleep, because what can happen is if you overeat and then you have all that glucose and glycogen sitting around your body, we know glucose is very toxic for your body. That's why your body says, hey, once you eat, go insulin, go get that glucose out of the body. Let's get it out super, super quick. That's why it shuttles out so quick, only lasts 30 minutes because it can turn toxic. That's why it causes inflammation or inflammatory processes in your body. All the interleukins get released because your body doesn't like it. That's why you want to get rid of it as quickly as you can. Secondarily, you want to get a really good night's sleep because you want to make sure that your cortisol level stays in rhythm. We have a lot of hormones that rest, recycle, and repair at night. So tonight, if you did overeat tonight and you can't get some exercise in, but again, there's so many ways. There's stairs at my house, or if maybe you don't have stairs, you can play hopscotch, you can do high knees. There's so many free places you can get on the computer, on Hulu, on Netflix, on all these different shows you have on TV, Amazon Prime. Everyone's got a 7-day free app for something. You can get some exercise again and go play Frisbee, go do something. If you're golfing, run from golf hole to golf hole if you're outside golfing. I don't even know if you can do that right now, but get some exercise in, get your body moving, get your lymphatic system moving. It does 2 or 3 things. We know that it makes your brain endorphins very happy, which also releases fat and burns things. Also gets your lymphatic system going to release that stored glucose and glycogen so you don't sleep on it. We also want to make sure you get a really good night's sleep. So watch some Hallmark movies, watch Frozen 2, and play some card games so you're up and moving around. And again, continue keeping a lot of water in your body because that'll make sure that you don't overeat or go back to eat tonight. Because if you ate to full or you overate at lunch, now your stomach's expanded out, the next meal is more likely to say, hey, I've got to eat even more to fill out my stomach because it's expanded. So if you're feeling full and bloated, then you have a nice, I'm going to say, a bowel movement, then your stomach's going to be bloated again. You're going to be more likely to overeat that second meal. So hopefully there's some good strategies here. So if you identify yourself like when you have an event or a holiday, I'm the person who really plans out. I'm great under control. I don't overeat. I do a great job. But these tips will help me that I will maybe drink some exogenous ketones because those will actually help me feel fuller faster, which is satiety. It helps takes away the craving. It actually calms down my nervous system because some events I actually get nervous in an environment. I'm eating because I'm nervous, and it actually puts me in a better mood, in a better place. And now I have more energy, so I'm going to exercise more, or I'm going to be strategic about it. I'm going to make sure I drink water and I work out and I go get a good night's sleep. Or the other one was I just blew it, and I'm not going to blame or shame myself, but I'm going to journal down why that is happening. And maybe you need to work with a nutritionist person or someone who works with health and say maybe there's something metabolically going on. But I think most of the time people end up overeating because they maybe restrict themselves too often, or they just don't understand what the metabolically means. But that does happen. People restrict, and then when they're in an open feasting mode, like a buffet at a family event, they're like, wow, here we go. Or oftentimes it can be out of sadness or of love, like they love I have an Aunt Betty, I shouldn't say Aunt Betty, and she's still here. Let's say Betsy. I love Aunt Betsy so much, and she's passed away, and every time I smell the apple pie, I think of Aunt Betsy, and I miss her so much, and so you end up overeating the apple pie because you miss her so much. It's kind of that Pavlovian dog's response that happens with food and holidays as well when you miss a loved one. So that needs to be identified so that overindulgence kind of stops happening. But again, if you overindulge, there's so many little tricks to do that. Exercise, be happy, play some games, get moving. And I think as far as everyone goes, the stat is still true, and I haven't changed it. The average American needs to, thanks Jennifer, the average person needs to move 2.5 hours per week. That's 40 minutes 4 times a week. That's American Heart Association, the American Cancer Association. That is according to that's not activities of daily living. That is exercise. Hey, Cheryl, happy Easter. That means that you need to move 2.5 hours per week, 40 minutes, 4 times a week. That's the bare minimum. Again, don't confuse it with activity of daily living. I see people's food diaries and food charts and exercise logs. I'm like, well, I was really busy. I was chasing my kids and I was doing laundry. I'm like, that's your activity of daily living. That's not to substitute for exercise. So as you move forward throughout the week, and maybe you did overindulge and you have some leftovers, I would say if you ate to full this week, like you just finished your meal, be done, get some exercise in, take your brain to a place of gratitude and attitude. I know it's hard with the quarantine going on. Get some movement in, maybe go clean out a drawer, my sock drawer. That's what I'm going to do today. I'm also going to do some paperwork that is mile high that I've been avoiding, but do something that's really productive and makes you feel good that you got that done. Maybe do a vision board with your family along with getting some movement in. Plan out your food the rest of the week. I know a lot of us are going to be kicking off a week from today. We'll be kicking off our 60-hour keto detox, naturally detoxing reboot fast. So we'll be doing that a week from today. And most of you participated with me on our 40-day eating clean. And today was our OMED, which means we ate a meal yesterday and we did 1 meal a day. So we had a meal yesterday and we ate our second meal today. So just wanted to congratulate everybody who finished our 40-day eating clean with me, and hopefully again those tips are going to help you get moving further faster with your health goals. So thanks again for joining me here today. Happy Easter to all of you. If there's a hot topic you want to talk more about or things that you're needing help with now that we have a little more time at home, I'd love to help you figure out the truth about that topic or help you clarify that topic a little bit more. The great thing is I've been teaching keto low carb for a lot of years, decades, and now people are actually asking me about it. I used to have to teach people and say, wait, let me tell you about this crazy word keto. And now people are asking me, so that's kind of fun. So I love teaching about that. We are on day 4 of our 10-day keto kickstart and hearing some amazing things just day 4 into it. So if you want to know a little bit more about that and you want to join us in our next 10-day keto kickstart, just private message me and I'll share the information with you. But we guide you through a 10-day keto kickstart. Day 1 was simply no snacks. It's eating healthy, all natural foods, simple meal ideas, simple menu ideas. And we take you through that each and every day. We have a different doctor on there helping give you a health tip because we want to help you get this right. We don't just want to leave you all alone, and we want to make sure that you're doing this safely and doing this, again, easily with food that tastes great to you. So you guys have a very happy Easter. Thanks for joining me as well. This is always meant to be shared. This is Dr. Heather from Overland Park, Kansas, saying have a beautiful day or from wherever you are joining me. Again, please to share this information because I know there's somebody out there who's probably confused about what to do when they overeat or find themselves in a situation where what do I do if I don't know what to eat, if I have overeaten, or if I don't even know what I'm supposed to eat, when I'm supposed to eat. So we'd love to help you figure that out because it is really a common thing is people can't tell if they're hungry, if they're hangry, if there's appetite, if they're thirsty, or when they're supposed to eat at all. So hopefully we're helping you figure that out along the way, and you guys have a fabulous day. And thank you for the birthday wishes, and you guys have a super great day. We'll be seeing you soon.